Hello everyone. So for today's card, I'm finally getting around to using this Simon Says Stamp 120-pound white cardstock. I got this months ago and never got around to using it. So I wanted to do kind of a clean and simple card with some Copic coloring to kind of try it out. And I will say my first impressions of this is it is super, super smooth, like ultra smooth. As soon as I pulled it out of the packaging, I was like, wow, this is different. And definitely a 120-pound base. Not a huge difference between this and like the 110-pound Nina. Like weight-wise anyway, you can slightly tell, but yeah, without like an actual scale that's going to tell you the exact weight. Anyway though, but it is smoother than the Nina or the CC Designs Copic Quality White that I always use. So kind of different. Yeah, I decided to follow along with the Bellarific Friday challenge, which was a sketch challenge. And even though I'm still trying to get out of my creative slump, I actually thought out of the box for once. I'm someone who takes sketches and challenges like quite literally. And the sketch challenge was a row of 4 hearts on the card front. And normally I would literally put 4 hearts on the card front. That's how I think. But this time I thought, hey, I've got this perfect little set from Stamping Bella. This is the Smarty Cat set. So it comes with the cat image and then all those little images. So instead of the hearts, I actually stamped all those little images along the front of the card. And again, to be a little different, stamped the main kind of image on the inside of the card. Just something different, totally out of the box for me anyway. So stamped everything with my favorite things, Black Licorice Hybrid ink, which is like my absolute favorite black ink for Copic coloring, and then just coloring in the images with Copics. It gave a good test of the cardstock. Not I'll have to experiment some more because that's one of the biggest things people said with this cardstock is it's so fabulous, there's no bleed through, anything like that. I will say, like, by the end of this card, you'll see, because I'll show, it doesn't bleed through at all. However, I didn't super saturate this cardstock. Like, all these images are colored fairly simply. I didn't do, a lot of layering and a lot of blending and, like, that depth and detail work where you're really adding a lot of ink. So you could get away with this on other cardstocks, like the Nina, the CC Designs, the stuff that I normally use, like the 110-pound, you'd probably get very little saturation with that as well, just coloring like this, because I'm kind of just dabbing on the colors and not doing a whole lot of blending because they're just simple images. So I will reserve my opinion on that part of it until I actually get a chance to like really color. Personally, it doesn't really bother me if coloring shows through if I was going to do a card like this. I know for some people it's kind of the same thing as when you see, the backs of brads or embellishments, peeking through onto the inside of the card. It drives some people nuts. But yeah, I sometimes I went to the work of making it, and sometimes I'll conceal things and other times I just don't care. So anywho, coloring in all these little images, which didn't take very long at all. Super, super simple. Added a bit of shadow beneath the little mouse and the ball of yarn with my warm gray markers. And then on the inside of the card, on this main cat image here, I am just kind of following along with the coloring that was already on the packaging. Yeah, so I can't take credit of being, artsy fartsy with this. This was all kind of inspired by the packaging, and I just really liked how they used like some blues and a bit of purple and a bit of gray to get, the shading and the depth on the image. So I was kind of following along with that and just dabbing on the color, just how it looked on the packaging. So really quick and simple too. Obviously, this being a cat, you could do pretty much any color combo, and I really could have, gone to a lot of work and really added some color to saturate the cardstock, but I didn't have the time and I wasn't in the mood. So this is one way to kind of cheat and make it easy. Is, yeah, just use the packaging. If it's got like a colored image, it makes things just go quick and easy, so you don't have to, struggle with it. So I dabbed on, I started with like the BG 000 and used that as like my main kind of really pale blue there. And then I was dabbing on a little bit of like C3, C5. The purple was V22, and just little dab marks here and there. And then if I found things were like a little too obvious, I'd kind of blend them out a little bit more with that BG 000. And then it was good to go. So for his little ears and his nose, I used R20, which is what I also used on the little mouse on the front. C5 was used just in the darkest areas, just had that little bit of extra shading and depth. And then, yeah, blending it all out again with that BG000 until I was like pretty much happy with it. So once I was satisfied that that was about as far as I was going to go, it wasn't going to look exactly like the packaging, but I didn't want it to anyway. And then, yeah, filled in his little nose and his little ears. I was thinking too while I was doing this would look really, really cute if you took glossy accents and filled in the lenses of the glasses. Because this was the inside of the card, and again, I didn't have time, and I have a tendency, especially if it's on the inside of the card, that I would have, ended up gluing my card shut. But yeah, if you have the time to let it dry, that would be such a cute little like accent just to finish it off. And then I used my W3s again to create the ground, and then the sentiment comes with these little stamps. So I used my little stamp positioner so I can get that stamped straight on the inside of the card. So I got it stamped on the positioner, straightened it out, inked it up again with the same black licorice hybrid ink, and that finishes off the card. So you'll be able to see, didn't bleed through at all. Even the ground areas, which is what I would have done the most color with, did not bleed through. So I'm pretty impressed with this cardstock. We'll see once I get some more time to play with it. But as always, there will be a link below the video to my blog post with links to all the supplies used. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping my videos, and I will see you all next time. Bye!